Good morning, teacher.
Hi, Flor. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, Flor. So we're going to start with today's topic. I'm so sorry. I'm not at home in my internet. I'm using my data, so that's why I'm not having my camera on. I hope that's not a problem. But today we're going to see the essay structure. All right. So far we've seen punctuation rules. Then we've seen linking words or transition words and phrases, right? Now the third topic is essay structure. All right, so let's start and well, let's take a look to this picture and let's take a look also to these graphics on the right. Okay, so maybe you can help me reading a little bit. Let's start with introduction, please.
Introduce the subject and come to the point.
Okay, great. So take a look. It's introducing the subject, right? And come to the point. So basically, you're going to start big, right? You're going to start from very general. No, so the idea here is long, right? It's not specific whatsoever. So and then we should start to come a little bit more specific, right? To the point that you are going to basically say, this is what I'm going to talk about, right? So you start very general, and then you, at some point, you're going to say, well, this is the topic, right? Let's go with body, please.
Embody the real power of your writing. Support your thesis, examples, detailed information.
Excellent. Yes, thank you. So for this, for the body, we have 3 paragraphs. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Usually it's like that. And for this body, we have to write a lot. So basically, in each of these paragraphs, we're going to have at least 4 sentences or ideas. All right, so here we can maintain also 4. No, but in each of these are 3 different paragraphs, right? With at least 4 ideas minimum. And each of these paragraphs should have, well, the introduction of the idea. We should add a support. That means that we have to mention examples, and we also have to give some detailed information. All right, that's the most important or larger part in the essay. All right, and let's see the last one, please.
Conclusion. Begin by restating your thesis, not word for word. Gradually become more broad and general.
Exactly. So it's basically the opposite of conclusion, right? It starts a little bit specific, and then it's going to become general, because you're going to try to close the idea and try to say, no, oh, well, in my opinion, or finally, or no, to conclude with, you're going to give a main idea. Usually the ideas that you use here in your introduction are later on going to be used also in your conclusion. So it's important, that's why it's important to have a connection between your introduction and your conclusion. All right, so it's very common not to use the same ideas. However, here we start from general to a little bit more specific, and basically here we introduce the topic. And in the conclusion, we start general, no, with the topic, then we try to be more general each time, no? to the point that you are basically closing the whole topic. And it's the same logic because you have to have also 4 paragraphs, right? Like in the first one. So these two are connected, by the way. All right. And so basically that's the basic structure of an essay. Do you have any questions maybe?
In the introduction, we have to explain a little of the part of the body.
Not necessarily. We're basically introducing the topic. We are introducing the subject. Oh, sorry. We're introducing
The general topic, right?
Exactly, yes. So we start from very general ideas to a little bit more specific to the point that you're saying, well, we're talking about this, no? And later on in the body is where we give some details, we support, we introduce important information about the topic, no? And we should have at least 3 paragraphs. And each of the paragraphs should have at least 4 ideas. No, that's the topic, the point of each paragraph. Each of them should have 4 ideas, no, supporting details or characteristics about the topic, not the main topic. And at the end, when we are done with all the characteristics or the information that we want to mention about the topic, we're going to close the essay. And we're going to start talking about the topic in a general way. And we're going to try to be big each time, no? And we should, well, the tip here is that we should take the ideas we put into introduction into account in the conclusion. In that way, we are mentioning the same points that we mentioned before in our closing paragraph or conclusion paragraph.
Okay.
So this is just an introduction, no, of the basic structure. So now I'm going to show you an example so you can read a little bit. And you can see an example of paragraph, all right? So then we're going to see in detail, no, how to write an essay. But the exercise is this one. So in this example, you're going to see an essay, right? And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, right? An introductory one, 3 is the paragraphs for the body, and 1 for conclusion. And what you have to do is basically to read this paragraph, right? And then we have to put them in order. Now, whatever is more common for you, if you want to read it from your cell phone or you want to see it from my screen, and then at the end when you read it, and also it's a very easy topic, no? It's how to live alone. How is it to live alone, sorry. And at the end, you can basically put this in order, right? You can say, well, maybe this is 5. Well, I don't know what it is. Okay, it's fine. Anyways. But at the end, we are going to put the statements in order, not putting one might be introduction, right? Then the body, you will have 3. And then the last one, it's going to be number 5, right? The paragraph, which we don't know. No, it's not in order. All right, so how would you like to do, Flor? Would you like to share it from your cell phone and check the information from your own screen, or you would like to see it from Zoom? What is more comfortable for you.
I can share.
All right, yes, I think that would be better. Okay, so the link is on the chat. You have permission, I believe. Okay, so let's take a look to this first exercise. Well, the first thing that you have to do is read, right? So please ask me if you have any questions, if you don't understand the word or something. No? So let's start. You can read in this order, and then we can read in the proper order. Okay, any questions, Fleur?
No.
All right, let's start, please. Let's start reading.
Okay, I finished.
Right. So let's take a look to the paragraph. So if you take a look to the first paragraph, it's a very, very general paragraph, right? It's barely mentioning no, the topic. So maybe, did you have the opportunity to read it all?
Yes, but I mm,
Maybe skipped some parts?
because in the number 1 is general 2.
Yes, the first
And
paragraph.
the number 5 is like a resume.
Exactly, yes. So obviously this is more like a it could be very personal, no, or it could be, we can base this on information from books or researches, right? But the logic is that, no, that the first paragraph should be very big, very vague, and then it should introduce, not a topic. Number 2, 3, and 4 are going to talk about characteristics about the topic. No? So in number 2, they start with being more specific. No, they're talking about their country. They're giving some examples. No, they go, for instance, high school and college graduates decide to move away, and then they're going adding more information about the same topic, right? These facts highlight the fact that most people, etc. No, they're talking about one main characteristic about living alone. No, one example, one big example for like living alone. No. Then number 3, we have another topic, another characteristic, right? It's saying one of the most challenging problems faced by people living alone is dealing with feelings of loneliness. So the topic on number 2, what will you say it is? What's the topic of the second paragraph? Besides living alone, no? What will be the characteristic or the detail they're mentioning in paragraph number 2?
This is about circumstance lead people to living alone.
And what will be the main example there? What do you think it's the main example in paragraph number 2? Could you hear me?
Yes, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Now, how do you know what something, or when you are trying to look for something, connector words or linking words, they help you. No, it goes for instance. For instance is for example, no? So paraphrasing a little bit that example is basically they're talking about people that live alone because of education or accepting jobs. So that's the main example. The whole thing talks about that, no? Why some people live alone because they want to study or they want to get jobs, no? In number 3, paragraph number 3, what is the characteristic they're going to be talking about? What is the subtopic of this paragraph?
Is about the problems that they are dealing with, the feeling of loneliness.
Exactly, yes. So the feeling of loneliness is the subtopic here, right? And everything they're talking about in this paragraph is mentioning or is talking about feelings of loneliness, no? So they give some details at the end, right? And then let's see paragraph number 4. And what will be the subtopic of this paragraph?
In the beginning, it's
Mhm.
about depression.
Mhm. Exactly. So it's basically same type of idea, but a little bit different. Now they're talking about more like problems in mental health, maybe, no? Depression and happiness. But they are also mentioning loneliness. So the idea should be that you mention a different type of topic, not very related in each paragraph. So in my opinion, in number 4, I wouldn't have mentioned loneliness. No, I will try to mention something else, maybe like mental health in general. No, but the idea is there. No, that's the point. In each paragraph, you should mention something, a detail or a subtopic that it's different from the rest. And then finally, in number 5, what do you see in paragraph number 5?
Mm, is about to analyze with all the point
Mhm.
and ask questions to ourselves.
Yes, exactly. So it's like giving you some questions, no, to reflect maybe about your whole life, no? And because, well, obviously this is writing for someone that lives in the United States, no? So that it lived this at some point in their lives, living alone. It's not the same in Bolivia, for example. No, the context is a little bit different. However, this logic is that, no, that we have 5. This is the basic structure of a paragraph, of a essay. I'm sorry. We have an introductory paragraph. No, in the you can recognize in each of the paragraphs linking words. We have different an amount of ideas. We should try to stay at 4 ideas tops, no, so it's not too long. So this is a good amount of paragraph or sentences in each paragraph. Then 3 for the main, three paragraphs for the body, and then one last paragraph for the conclusion, right? So, well, this is going to be easy for you. However, let me share it so we leave this clear. This is the next exercise. It's on the chat, please. So we can leave the order of the paragraph. It's not charging, no?
No.
Oh. All right, maybe I can share it. Then you will help me to. You will help me to. Okay. So basically, we just have to match and choose. So we have an introduction, and we have a third idea of your own reasons. First prompt, restate your opinion. Second prompt, introduce it. So what is the introduction? Which of these ideas is representing or describing the introduction of an essay?
The last one.
All right. Yes. So could you read it, please?
Introduce the topic and state your opinion clearly.
Excellent. All right. So what number of paragraph will be from 1 to 5?
1.
All right. Okay. Main body. We have 3 paragraphs.
First prompt, giving and the reason that support your viewpoint.
Great. What number of paragraph?
Paragraph 2.
Okay, great. Next one.
Second prompt, giving the reasons that support your viewpoint.
Great. What paragraph?
Paragraph 3.
Okay, great. Next one, please.
A third idea of your own and the reason that support your viewpoint.
Great. And paragraph? Sorry.
4. Sorry, 4.
All right. Well, and finally, let's read the last one, please.
Restate your opinion using different words.
Restate.
Paragraph 5.
All right. So, well, it's correct, obviously. So basically, sorry, that's the logic. No, for introduction, we have one introductory paragraph. Then for the main body, we have 3 different type of ideas, characteristics, and each of them they should support their point of view with examples, with information that helps to clarify each of the characteristics or subtopics that you're going to be talking about. Always talking about the topic, not the main topic. And in the conclusion, it's saying restate. It's not saying state. Restate, it means that whatever it was saying in the first part, it should be used in the conclusion, not to kind of like close the idea. No, whatever you were using to introduce the introduction should go at the end too, so you can close the essay. All right, so let me show you this essay structure. In this structure, it's a little bit more detailed, so let's take a look to it, okay? Any questions, Flora? Sorry.
No.
All right. So let's take a look to it, okay? So this is it's a little bit different from the previous one, right? This one was very general. No, it's a basic structure. However, here we're seeing a little bit more specific, right? And that's what we need to understand. Okay, so let me activate this. All right. So, well, we know that we start with introduction, right? In the introduction, we should have at least, this is the structure, sorry, of a paragraph, no? The topic sentence. We have one idea, two ideas, 3 ideas, and then we conclude the sentence, no? So it's basically, we're trying to write like a little, we introduce a paragraph, basically. No, we can start with an idea, then we can have a detail or a characteristic. We can mention maybe an example. No, if we want to, maybe we can add a bit more information about it. And basically we close the idea, no? Each paragraph, if you want to put it in this way, is like a little story. No, each paragraph should have an order, especially in introduction and the conclusion, no? Because the ideas are clear, no, the information that we're adding, no, we should always support our ideas in each of the paragraphs, all right? It's saying no, support with E&E, no, evidence and examples. This is important. So when we mention something, we just don't mention it. No, we have to give examples or some idea that help us to clarify what we're saying. So that's very important. All right, so and basically in the introduction, we have a general statement. Oh, sorry. We have a general statement. We have a thesis statement, and we have an outline of main points, right? So these three type of ideas or statements, no, help us to introduce the topic. So a general statement, it means something general, not a general idea. So like we've seen an example, no, it was was very, very general, but it could be something like in the world or nowadays, no, something like that, very general. Then when we start to become a little bit more specific, now we start with the thesis statement. So basically you're going to start to mentioning the topic, right? And then when we outline the main points, basically here you're introducing the topic, no? So each time we should try to give a little detail or a little example of the idea that we're giving. Not the, for example, no, it's not just one idea, right? It should have something that supports it. For example, nowadays, people, going to be very general, right? But it's something like that. No? Nowadays, people is very busy in their lives, something like that. No? In their lives, and now I'm introducing a very, very general idea, right? So let me fix this. So I have to add a supporting second idea to this statement. So I cannot just leave it like this and put comma or period and then continue with other idea. Here I should add something, for example, a linking word I can use, no? For example, besides, I don't know, besides, we have many different distractions in our daily lives. No, that could be considered as a general statement, but it's having a support evidence. No, I'm giving a little type of example, right? I'm talking. We have many different distractions in our daily lives. So I'm giving an example. I'm giving a little support to my main statement, right? Which is very general. So the idea should be always like that. Now I'm mentioning something, such as a general idea, for instance, and then I should give some type of support, some evidence, and or example. Okay, so we never write just one statement and we put period and then we continue giving more information. No, we should always try to give like an example, a little detail, and always connecting these ideas. No, both are talking about the same idea, right? Always using linking words or connecting words, right? So then
Okay.
I will continue with my thesis statement. So here I'm going to start to, this is just, no, their names. No, however, the logic is that I'm going to start being more specific. So remember the little, no, the graphic. So I'm starting from very general, and then I'm gonna try to be a little bit more specific, and then very specific, right? So then I should go something like, I could go, maybe well, I can try to be a little bit more specific. No? In South America, for instance, we have, I don't even know what I'm talking about, okay? But I'm just putting an example, okay? So we have many different cultures. For example, now I can continue with the same logic. No? For example, in Argentina, no, I'm not going to talk about our context yet, because remember, we're a little bit general, no? In Argentina, and then blah, 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 no? The topic could be anything right now, no? Because it's very general, it's not specific at all. Now, the logic is that, no? That I have one statement and then I'm using some linking words to, oh, so sorry. Okay, there. So I'm having a statement and then I'm using some linking words to start to add information about this. No, it's usually, we usually have two statements when we have an idea. We don't have just one idea, right? So I can here talk a little bit more about anything, right? This is not introducing anything. No, it's very general. And then in my last or second or final idea or example, I can mention on my topic that it could be anything again. No, I could say maybe an important part of our, I can go back and mention some ideas that I already mentioned. An important part of our current life, current lives are is technology. No, that could be my topic. And then I can add a little information. Therefore, and then I can give a detail, not information. So usually it's like that. No, usually the logic should be something like that. Then I will mention a little detail, no, and then I can start introducing. So for the body, I'm going to, because I decided that my topic was going to be technology, right? For my body, I should decide that I'm going to describe three things or three ideas, sorry, about this topic, right? 1, 2, and 3. So basically, I'm going to mention a different detail, or sorry, a different characteristic or a subtopic of technology in each of the paragraphs of the body, a different one. So I don't confuse my reader. No, but because why I'm writing for a person that is going to read later on this, right? So maybe I can mention here, I could mention, I don't know, I could mention, what do you think? What could we mention about technology? A characteristic. What can you think of?
Ava grew up fastly, or like advantage.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Advantages of technology, no? Then in my second one, maybe I can talk about, what do you think? What will you write? It could be the opposite, no? Disadvantages of technology. Or maybe I can mention something in the middle, and then at the end I can talk about disadvantages. What do you think? Maybe we can be more specific and we can talk about for who. You were saying, I think growing up, it could be advantages of technology for kids.
Okay. Yes.
Right? It could be. So we are a little bit more specific. In your second one, no, in your second paragraph, maybe you can talk about I don't know, education for kids using technology or online. No, it could be anything, honestly. It could be anything. But you choose that. Now we can maybe say education for kids using technology. Now, obviously, in the first one should be also for kids, no? And in the last one, we can mention maybe the opposite, no? Disadvantages of technology with kids. So that's the logic, right? The logic is that we should think of 3 ideas, but each time while we are writing, no, the logic is that I should support my ideas, no? And we should try to have at least 3 ideas, no? And each time I'm mentioning a detail, a sentence, and a statement, I should support it. No, I have to support it with evidence and examples. It should be always like that. So at the end, you will have one idea with their example or detail, two, at least. And that's going to be the same for each paragraph of the body, right? In the first one, you're going to be talk about benefits or advantages of technology for kids, of kids using technology, right? And it should go always something like that, no? In the second one, the same, no? Always supporting the ideas. And the third one, same, always. The topic should always be supported with examples or evidence. And finally, the conclusion, right? Okay, one important thing that I didn't mention, sorry, it's the concluding sentence. For example, here, we have our introduction, and the concluding sentence usually is going to kind of like introduce the next sentence. So it could close the idea, but if the ideas are linked together, it can introduce the next one. Now, for example, if I'm talking about 3 things that are connected about technology, I can, when I conclude the sentence, kind of like invite the next statement because it's also going to be talking about something related, right? However, this concluding sentence is something like, now remember that with sometimes we can say, you can say, firstly, nowadays, people is very busy, besides, secondly, or on the other hand, in South America, and I should try to mention that I'm closing my idea, and as an important part for our current lives is technology. I could go finally, that could close or be used as a concluding sentence. Finally, an important part. However, I can, if I don't have that, I can go something like, to sum up, some linking word that is helping me to close this paragraph, right? Because they're talking about one topic, remember. In this example, we're seeing an introduction, right? To sum up, and then I can maybe close the idea, no? Technology. Technology is well, I'm going to repeat something that I was saying already, no, but technology is a vital part of maybe kids, no? Kids' lives. So it can be more specific, no? Entonces, that's important. So I don't know if you're understanding. Sorry, it's very like it's messy. But the logic is that each paragraph it's something about one thing. No, and we should we introduce it with something general. Then we're a little bit more specific. We can give examples, right? And then at the end, we should close the paragraph with something like that, to sum up or finally or something like that, no? And then we conclude and then we can continue. Now for the body again, no, if I'm talking about 3 different parts of something related with technology, now I can start maybe first, now that I can mention my ideas, give examples, and then I can continue. That's my second paragraph. Also, or secondly, I don't know. And then I conclude. I continue with giving my example details about the second topic, right? And then I can go no finally or thirdly, and then I can continue with the third part of the characteristics, no? But we should, if they're not connected, we should always try to give like a closing or a concluding sentence. We should try, no, to close the idea if it's not connected with each other. And finally, in the conclusion, and here I'm going to erase everything. Sorry, it's a little bit messy. In the conclusion, we should try to take in account of the ideas that we've seen in the first part. So here we have a thesis, right? Your thesis maybe was giving like a personal statement about, because usually introduction, you're talking about your opinion. Why do you think, right? Because you are writing the essay, right? So here, whatever your thesis statement, no, you saw that, not the thesis, something like it could be your ideas about the topic. We should restate that, no? We should try to go back and be like, oh, for instance, oh, I can conclude because you are writing, no? I can conclude that, and remember what you wrote, no? Technology, I think it was the important, no? Technology is an important part of our lives, but I'm restating, but I can go however, and because we no, supposedly we talk about advantages and disadvantages of technology, we can say maybe, however, there are more disadvantages of technology for kids. No, so I'm giving some type of concluding or conclusion, no, but I'm talking about what I've seen after I wrote everything, no. So I'm giving my opinion might change from what I was writing in my first statement, which was very general, right? In my conclusion, it should be more personal It should have some point of view. And then you can summarize some points if you want to. Now here you're mentioning disadvantages. Then you can say, I don't know, you can add something else maybe, or to summary, you can also mention whatever you wrote here, basically, no? Very, very shortly, you can say there are also some advantages or benefits of technology, and benefits for kids. For kids education, while they use this, blah, blah, no? So the logic is that in the last part, in the conclusion, we close, no? Everything that we mentioned, we can summary very shortly, but is this very personal? The conclusion is very personal, and then you give a final comment, and this is also no, you're talking from your point of view, from your experience, and you can finish. I'm going to write it here, but you can finish with, in my opinion, or personally, something, whatever sounds better for you. Personally, I believe that we can't escape from using technology and try to manage wisely the usage of our kids. So we remember, no, we should try to be not too personal in the body. Not usually the last part is like you give, like you can, this final comment is also, it could be sometimes also an advice, some type of final idea. Sometimes in thesis you also do that, no? You give your personal point of view, but it could be something like that. No, personally, I believe that we can escape from using technology and try to manage wisely the usage time of our kids of technology, no, or devices, etc. So that's basically an essay, the essay structure. But this is the basic essay structure, right? It's we have introduction, the body, remember, they always use support, evidence or examples. And yes, it could be more than this, but at least they should have 3, at least. Because if you need to add more information, for example, if you're writing 5 important characteristics and you cannot leave out any, it could be 5 paragraphs, right? And each paragraph is going to talk about a different characteristic of technology, for example. But we should try to at least have 3. Now, even when maybe we have just 2 things to mention, maybe we can try to look for a 3rd point to no, because of there, if not, it's too short. All right. So I don't know if you have any questions. I hope it was clear and I didn't confuse you. But what do you think, Fleur?
It's very long.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know. It takes a while. It definitely takes a while. However, writing is an art. No, and the good thing is that when you choose a topic that you like to write, it's very easy to do it. Now, for example, if you like, I don't know, dogs or cats or photography or not something that you are passionate about, writing about something that you like is very easy. But imagine if you have to write about, I don't know, like mechanics or biology, maybe something that you're not very related to, yes, it can definitely get difficult. But when it's something that you like and you know a little bit, it's quite easy. So
what is the time to make the essay in the TOEFL?
in the TOEFL, it's not necessarily an essay. I'm not sure if I have right now the structure, but it's quite easy, to be honest. You give I think 25 and then 20 minutes. I have it right here. Because you're going to take the TOEFL, right? Or no?
I think.
Okay. No, it's very easy. It's opening, sorry. Okay. No, because we give you guys what is it called, this thing? The template. So we give you the template to write. So basically you just fill on the spaces. And the logic is similar. However, because you have all the linking words, you just fill on the spaces, no? So we have two writings for the essay. The first one is based on something that you read and you listen, I believe. No, you just read. And you base your answer on that. No, as you can see, no? Okay. You make a comparison, I believe, between a reading and a lecture. And then you make a comparison. As you can see, it's very easy. You start with the introduction. Then you have 3 paragraphs. Firstly, second, finally. That's all. And in the second part, it's a little bit longer, but it's because it's personal. Now this is a personal type, it's an open type of question. But you have all the connection words here, no? Furthermore, exemplifying, to conclude, what's more, indeed, to illustrate, etc. It's quite easy. To be honest, I think this is easier than an essay. All right, Fleur. So any questions, maybe?
No, it's okay.
All right. So let me, 1 second, sorry, I cannot make it work. I'm going to send la encuesta de satisfacción. Okay. So, es la que tiene 4 preguntas. It has 4 questions. Yes, it has. All right. So thank you very much, Fleur. We're going to practice a little bit of this writing on Friday. And I'm going to show you a couple of type of essays. And that's all. All right. Thank you very much, Fleur. Have a great day. And see you on Friday.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.